I want to welcome you to another video of Jermaine Brown Salesforce video. What I want you to see here is my offer letter, as you can see. I blacked out the name of the company for privacy purposes, but notice that this is what they call an offer letter. And you will get this when you are in Salesforce, when you accept a job. And notice in the yellow, I'm going to get paid almost $3,000 every 2 weeks, or really comes out to really $70,000 a year. Then when you include the $2,000 sign-on bonus, so it really comes out to $72,000. So that's good, especially if you're a starter. For those who are beginners and stuff, that's good. If you have much experience, that's not considered a very good salary. But for those who's just breaking in or just trying to get their feet wet, now I'm trying to get my feet wet on the full-time, instead of contract role. So how did I end up getting this offer letter? How did I end up getting approved? Well, you got to go through these interviews. And in interviews, they're going to ask you some basic questions. Like, for instance, well, the first thing you got to know how to do. This is an org that I am in, or really a sandbox, okay? And one of the things you're going to have to learn how to do is create a user. So they're going to, you'll get an email that'll say, okay, Jermaine, we would like for you to create a user. So then you go to here. This is what you would call your central hub. This is where you're going to be doing a lot of your work. Not all of your work, but a lot of your work is going to be done from this page, which is the setup. And the way you usually get it to the setup is when you usually log in to an org for the first time. This is where you're going to most likely see. Okay? This is what you're going to most likely see. You're going to see the sales app. These are called apps. All of this here in these 9 dots are called apps. Okay? So in the sales app, you're going to see all these objects, home. These are standard objects, by the way, And so when they say, okay, Jermaine, we want you to create a user, you have to go to the setup area. So to go to the setup area, you got to go to the right and you're going to click on this gear icon and you're going to click on setup. Okay. Then what you're going to do is you're going to go to users here, or you could type in users. Either way doesn't really matter. Okay. And then when they say click create a new user, see currently I'm a user here. Lua Dahl is another user. Toby Keys is another user. Donald Trump is another user. So if I want to create a new user, I'm going to say Hillary. And then I'm going to use my email address because she, I don't know her email address and I'm not trying to send this to her. So the username is going to be Hillary at, let's say, gmail.com jb1.jermaine. So that's going to, because now why did I put that? You'll see why I put jb1.jermaine, because this is a sandbox. And you got to put a dot after the email address. So the role, I'm not going to specify a role. And what I'm going to do is give her a Salesforce user license. And I'm going to give her minimum access Salesforce. So this way she don't have to have much access. I'm going to say marketing user, offline user. See, I just give them this, Okay. So this is all I got to do to create a new user. What I'm going to do is say, unclick generate new password and notify user immediately, because why? I don't want to have to click on it and log in. So, I have to then now go into my email address because the email is going to come to me. Since it's my email here, I don't want it to come to me. Oh, her last name is Clinton. Oops, I got to put the last name. So Hillary Clinton, let's just say. I'm going to click save. So congratulations, I just created a new user. Now, there's two things I can do. Let's say she's going to go on maternity leave, right? Well, I don't want to deactivate her account, but I can freeze her account by clicking on freeze. So it keeps the account active, but it doesn't, while she's on maternity leave or whatever. But we're not thinking about that right now. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to user or set up users. So here you see where I'm able to log in. I can log into Kobe's account, Donald Trump's account, Lou's account, but I should be able to log into Hillary's account. Right now, all I'm able to do is edit her account. But let's say she wants me to log into her account for whatever reason. Well, what I have to then do is go to login. And this will allow me to log into any user's account, by the way. And you see the JB1 here, .Jermaine. So this allows her to log into this org. That's why I put JB1.Jermaine after the email address. Or this is really her username. Okay. So now I'm going to do login access policies. So now, see where it says administrators can log in as any user? I want to enable this. So this way I can log into any user account. Click save. But the problem is if I log into her account and then I log out, now I got to re-log into my account by putting in my password and stuff. And I don't want to do that. I just want to, when I log out of her account, I want it to come back to my account without me having to re-log back in. So then what I got to go to do is go to session, settings. I'm going to scroll up in session settings. See where it says force relogin after user. Force relogin after login as user. I want to uncheck that. By unchecking that, that allows me to log back into my account without having to relog back in. And I want to click save. See, these are things that you're going to have to know how to do as an admin. Okay, this is just basic stuff. So I'm going to say user again. Now let's see if I can. Now see, now I could have successfully log into her account. Okay. And do whatever I need to do. But just so you know how to do that. Now, part of your job as an admin is to make the users, and the users can be a marketing rep, a sales rep, or whoever. You want to make their job easier. And what do I mean by that? Well, if I click back on this home, right? Okay. You see this tab here called leads? You can't not access Lightning Experience. That's interesting. Okay. Oh, shoot. Okay. I want to log out because she don't have access to Lightning Experience, to my account. That's what I forgot. That's why, because she has limited experience, limited rights in her account. That's why I set it up that way. So then now let me click on this. Let me see. Okay, so I want to click on here. I want to click on sales. So now Sandbox is Jermaine. So I just wanted to make certain I'm back to that. Okay, that's important. Okay, so now when I click on the leads, because you see, as an admin, I have full rights. I can view all accounts. I can edit all accounts, delete all accounts. I can do whatever. I have what is called the full-blown package. That's why you have to be very careful what you're doing when you're an admin to make sure you don't do the wrong thing, because it can be disastrous. So then now I'm going to click on leads, because a lot of times marketing reps or sales reps is going to be here. And all a lead is potential business opportunity. Okay, potential clients. Okay, that's why they call leads. So when a company advertises, that's the marketing side, that's called a campaign. And a campaign, somebody responds to the campaign, to the advertisement. Now they are potential leads. They're not leads, they're not converted leads until they decide to do the business and all that, and it is an agreement. But they're potential leads. So let's say somebody decides to call up and stuff. They should not have to come to the leads object, because that's what this is, an object. Come to the leads object and click new, and then have to start creating the information. They should be able to do that really from the home page to make things easier. See, by making things easier, this is what makes you a high valued admin. So how do I make things easier for the admin? I want to do is create a flow on this home page. So this way they can create the lead from here without having to go to the leads object. Okay? Because we want to make things quick and easy. So how do we do this? We create this thing what's called a flow. So then now I got to type in flows. Again, from the setup, this is what we call our central up hub. This is an automation. Okay? Now, this is here is where you make your dollars. This is where you make your bucks as an admin, when you know how to create a flow. And if you can create flows, you can make a lot of money, because this is what companies are looking for. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say new flow. Now, what type of flow am I going to create? There's a screen flow, record trigger flow, schedule trigger flow, platform event triggered flow, auto launch flow, no triggers, and record trigger orchestration. And all of this I don't need right now. Down the road, I'm going to need it for whatever reason, but for now, I don't need it. All I need is the screen flow. So I'm going to say create. Okay, so right now, this gives us the auto layout, and I can select the elements, but I don't want to do it from here. I want to do it from a free form. So this way I can see my elements and everything here. Okay, so remember, the goal is to get a screen here. So to display a screen here, I have to do a screen. So, because it's a screen flow. And what I'm going to say, create lead from homepage. Okay. And then I want to get rid of, I don't need this pause and previous and something, but I'm going to leave the finish. So what I'm going to do is configure footer. See, this is the footer, this is the header. So, but before I do that, let me do certain things. Let me first put in a text. And in this text, I'm going to say last name. And here's why you'll see. Because when I click on leads, notice here when it says new, last name, there's a red dot next to it, which means this is a required field. If you're creating a lead, you got to have a last name, and you also have to have a company. So remember those two are required. So what I'm going to do is in this flow, is I'm going to put last name, I'm going to make this required. I'm going to put screen last name, because this is a screen. I'm going to make this a requirement. Then remember the second one, which is company. So I'm going to do another text. I'm going to do company. And I'm going to say screen underscore company. And I'm going to also make this a required field, just like it is here. Okay? And lead status is also required, but it's going to be a new lead. So there's no need for me to put the lead status here. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the footer. I'm going to configure footer. I'm going to hide the previous, hide the pause. I don't need these. I'm going to hit done. Now I got to connect these two. Okay, now I'm going to click save. Then I'm going to say lead from homepage. So I'm going to save that as a flow. I'm going to save that as the name of the flow. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this just to test it. So notice here, there's 3 leads. If I click on open leads, there's only 3 leads. Beta, James, Brown, and Jenkins. Okay? So when I create this last name, I'm going to say Flores, the House of Flores. Finish. Okay, so it's that simple, right? So I should be able to go here, refresh, and it should appear here in the leads. Oh, wait a minute, it doesn't appear. Well, what happened? Well, we just told the lead to create the screen, but we didn't tell the lead to direct it to where. We have to tell the screen where to put the lead at. The screen doesn't know where to put the new lead at. So it didn't create it. So that's why there's still only 3. So what I'm going to do is go to this Beta James. I'm going to copy this link, by the way. So this is just one of the leads. Okay? On the home, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste it here. So I'm going to paste it right here. So this is the lead for Beta James. Okay? So what I'm going to do is X out of this, go back to this flow. Hold on. Why do I just do that? Let me get rid of all this other pages I don't need. Let me refresh this. Here goes the label right here, lead from homepage. So I'm gonna click on it. Okay. Then what I have to do is tell the flow, because this here is a canvas, by the way. I got to tell the flow where to put the new lead that I created. So I got to do is drag here, create record, because we're creating a new lead. So we're going to say lead on homepage. How many records to create? 1, because we just want to create. Now you could do multiple, but we only going to do 1. Multiple is if if they got multiple names and stuff and they want to make it quick, boom, they can, but we're going to just leave it at 1. Use all values from a record, or are we going to use separate resources and literal values? We're going to use separate resources and literal values. Okay? So what object? It's going to be the lead object. Okay? Now, what fields are we going to do? Remember here, in the leads, on Beta James, or really, nope, excuse me. We create new, we're going to do last name and company. Remember that. Those were the two that we made required. So we're going to do here last name. And what value we're going to use? Screen last name. Okay. Add field. Company. I should put company name, but no, it doesn't matter. And then we'll do screen company. Okay. So those are the two fields that we made required. Those are the two fields that we're going to put on this flow. So you're going to click done. So then now I'm going to attach these two. You have to attach it. And then what I'm going to do is create another screen. So when it's done and you click, put in a new name in the new screen, and the new lead, I wanted to be able to click, say the lead was successfully created, and then click on that link, and it should be able to go to that lead. So now here we're going to say successfully created. We'll say screen or successfully created, right? Then what I'm going to do is to display text, because that's all I'm doing is just displaying it. And then we're going to say lead, new lead, success, new lead created. And I'm going to say here, new lead successfully, whoop, can't see it. Created. And what I want to do is create this as a hyperlink. So when they click on it, it'll go to the lead. Now, what link I'm going to use? I'm going to use this link here. Right? But what I want to do is, because see, this here points to this here, the Beta James. I don't want to go to Beta James. I want it to be able to, when I click on a new lead, it creates a new ID. So what I'm going to do is click on resources, and I'm going to say lead ID. This is a variable, lead ID from lead on homepage. And all the variable is, I'm going to copy that and paste it here. A variable is like, think of a variable like an empty jar. Okay, and you need to put something in that jar. What we want to do is put the record ID in that jar for the flow to work properly. So what I'm going to do is highlight this again, hyperlink, highlight all of this. Hyperlink and link URL right here, boom. Save. Okay, then I'm going to click done. Then I am going to connect this. And then I'm going to do a save. And then I'm going to do an activate. And then I'm going to do a run. So I want to see if it's going to work properly here before I put it on the home page. So the last name we're going to say is Roberts. The house of Roberts. Okay, next. New lead successfully created. Now let's click on that, and it should take us to the lead page. Perfect, Roberts. This is working perfectly. However, requirement is that it needs to go. So let me refresh this so you can see that the new lead was recently, see, Roberts. But the requirement is that we want it on the homepage to make life easier for the marketing or the sales rep. So what I've got to do from the homepage, I got to edit this page. And I'm going to click on the gear icon again and click edit page. See, and this is going to be another area which is called the Lightning App Builder. This is where you got to, as an admin, be comfortable in, because you're going to be doing a lot of work from here as well. So what I'm going to do is click on this flow, which is the standard component, because these are components. Okay, I'm going to click on this flow. Right here. What's the name of the flow? Create a case? No, we don't want to create a case. That would be if we wanted on the service. You could do that on the service homepage, but we're not doing that. We're going to do a lead from homepage. Okay, layout one column, that's fine. Save. Activation. So we want to assign it to an app default. And these are the three that I'm assigning it to. Okay. Perfect. All right. So if I go back, now the flow should appear, which it does. But now we got to make certain it's working properly. So what I'm going to do is include a last name. So I'm going to say, actually, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to adjust this real quick. I am going to create another text. And I'm going to call this first name. Because if you have a last name, you should have a first name as well. I'm going to put screen first name. But this will not be, well, if the last name is required, the first name should be required. So I'm going to make that required as well. I've got to save this, done. Right, now I got to create, adjust this create record. So I'm going to add a field. Actually, I'm going to say company. Oh, sorry, it won't allow me. So let me delete this one here. So we got the lead object. We're going to leave that. So we're going to say first name. Screen first name. Right? Last name. Screen last name. See, all I'm doing is just matching it up. Company. Screen company name. A screen company. Now I'm going to say done. Let me see here. So this should work properly. So now let me go back to this. And let me refresh this page. It should work. Okay. Let me edit the page there. Oh, you know why? Remember, Jermaine, I got to do a save as, new version. And now I got to activate it. So that's what I forgot to do. Now it should work. Perfect. Okay, so first name is Jacob, last name Wall, and they're going to say the House of Wall. Then I'm going to say next. New lead successfully created. Now let's see. Perfect. Jacob Wall is the new lead. See, and now the marketing rep or the sales rep can do what they need to do, contact it, nurturing, now they can do what they need to do. Let's go back to here. See, Jacob Wall. So see, these are just some of the requirements that an admin has to know how to do. See, as my mentor Lou would say, this flow here, learning how to do this here can make you a lot of money. Because see, when you know how to do things like this, you can impress in an interview. So you can speak to this and say, well, okay, to make the life easier for the marketing rep or the sales rep, or in this case, the marketing rep, what I did is instead of going to the lead object to create a new lead, I created a lead from the homepage using a flow. Created a lead from the homepage, so this way when they create the new lead and then click next, okay, the new lead was successfully created, which takes them a link, a hyperlink to the lead page, and now they can fill out the remainder of the information and keep it moving. So you see, things like this can make you a lot of money when you could explain this, because this is a flow, and this is part of an admin's responsibility. I want to thank you for watching this video. Have a great day.